So, welcome to today's deep dive. I want you to imagine the global financial market for a second and try not to picture a boring spreadsheet.
Yeah, please don't. That's what everyone usually defaults to.
Right. I want you to picture a really dynamic, incredibly interconnected jungle instead.
Hmm.
Because right now, writing a single line of artificial intelligence code in Silicon Valley actually triggers the pouring of thousands of tons of heavy concrete halfway across the world.
It really does. And we have this tendency to treat technology, especially AI, like it's just this invisible magic.
Yeah, like it just floats in the cloud.
Exactly, untethered from the physical world. But the reality of the modern economy is just incredibly heavy. It's grounded, highly industrial.
Which is exactly our mission today. We're going to unpack this fascinating market recap script we found called the Three Market Beasts.
Right, and it's such a clever framework.
It really is. It takes the sheer complexity of the global tech economy and maps it out using three distinct animal profiles. And these represent three very different geographic markets.
Yeah, so you've got the eagle representing the US, the tiger for Malaysia, and the lion representing Singapore.
Right. And understanding how these three specific markets interact, that's honestly the ultimate shortcut, like a cheat code, to understanding the entire global economy right now.
I completely agree. It shows how visionary tech growth relies entirely on, physical expansion and strict financial regulation.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the way AI, physical construction, and traditional banking are totally intertwined is just going to give you a massive aha moment.
Yeah.
So let's start from the top down. We're looking at the high-altitude visionary level that's just dominating the financial news right now.
The US eagle.
Exactly, the eagle. It's soaring over Wall Street. And the dominant force here is just pure, unadulterated growth. Specifically, the massive AI boom and these massive data centers.
Yeah, and the source highlights the big four that are really driving this momentum. You've got NVIDIA, Broadcom, Microsoft, and Tesla. And what's interesting is how this source describes semiconductors. It calls them the wind beneath the wings of this market. And even more intensely, the new global currency.
Okay, wait, let's pause on that. Because calling a computer chip a new global currency sounds a bit hyperbolic, doesn't it?
It does at first.
Like a currency is a dollar or a euro, not a piece of hardware.
Right, but think about what gives a currency its actual value. It's scarce, there's universal demand for it, and you fundamentally cannot conduct modern business without it.
Oh, wow.
And right now, high-end semiconductors function exactly like that. If a massive company wants to train a new AI model, they can't just throw regular cash at an algorithm. They need raw compute power.
So the chips are the actual bottleneck.
Exactly. They are the catalyst for everything that follows. AI spending remains relentlessly strong because these chips aren't just hardware anymore. They represent this huge foundational shift in global commerce.
I look at the U.S. Eagle here like the architect of a massive new sci-fi city.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, like they are sitting in a glass high-rise, dreaming up the software, drawing the semiconductor blueprints, and just flying high in the stratosphere.
We're commanding the highest valuations in the world for it.
Right. But an architect's blueprints are completely useless without construction workers, right?
Right.
Like without raw materials and electricity.
It's just drawings on a page.
Exactly. The Eagle's AI software doesn't run on air. Which brings us crashing down from the clouds straight into the physical jungle, the Malaysia tiger.
The tiger, prowling right through the Kuala Lumpur skyline, the Petronas Towers and all that.
Yeah. And this market is all about expansion, physical momentum. We're talking infrastructure, heavy construction, and just skyrocketing energy demand.
And the source lists some key players fueling this regional digital backbone. Companies like YTL Power, Tenaga, Gamuda.
Inari and Sunway.
Yes, exactly. But I want to zero in on something fundamental here. The source says energy is the new gold because these data centers are incredibly hungry for power.
Okay, I have a question about this. We always hear about the magic of AI software, but are we totally underestimating the sheer physical toll this takes? I mean, you can't run an AI revolution without power.
Right. What's fascinating here is that Malaysia is capitalizing on this exact blind spot. While everyone in the West is staring at the software and the algorithms, Malaysia is building the hardware's home.
The actual physical house for the AI.
Yeah. They are becoming the indispensable physical foundation for the whole global digital ecosystem. Because you have to remember, AI data centers don't just use a little electricity. We are talking gigawatt-scale facilities.
But gigawatt, wait, really?
Yes. A single modern data center can draw as much electricity as a medium-sized city.
That is terrifying.
It is. And they need constant, uninterruptible power. They need thousands of gallons of water just for cooling so the servers don't literally melt.
Mhm.
And thousands of tons of concrete just to reinforce the floors because the server racks are so incredibly heavy.
Huh.
So companies like Gamuda and Sunway are pouring the concrete, and YTL Power is supplying the gigawatts.
So if the Tiger doesn't do the heavy lifting, the Eagle can't fly. The software just has nowhere to live.
Exactly. It grinds to an absolute halt.
Okay, so we've got the rapid growth of the Eagle in the U.S. and the massive physical expansion of the Tiger in Malaysia. But pulling off both of those requires immense amounts of capital and risk management.
Huge amounts of capital.
Right. So to keep this whole ecosystem from just collapsing in on itself, we need our third beast, the Singapore Lion.
Standing majestically over Marina Bay.
Yes. And the theme here is stability. It's about discipline and the reliable flow of capital. The source says the bedrock of this is made up of Singapore banks. So DBS, OCBC, and UOB.
And the key detail the source points out is that they continue delivering reliable dividends.
I have to laugh a little bit because discipline and dividends, it sounds a bit boring compared to, high-flying AI rockets and gigawatt power grid.
That sounds boring.
But I look at the Lion as this heavy iron anchor. It's keeping the tech kite from flying off into a hurricane.
Yeah.
Like boring is what actually pays the bills.
I completely agree. Boring is essential. When the market skies get cloudy, where do investors inherently flock back to? They flock back to the Lion.
Because they need that safety.
Exactly. Look at the mechanics. You don't finance a multi-billion-dollar concrete and power facility in Malaysia with speculative venture capital from Silicon Valley.
Right, that would be insane.
You finance it with disciplined, traditional banking debt. Singapore turns the wild, high-speed growth of the other two markets into sustainable, long-term value.
And the source also mentions that digital infrastructure is being integrated into this disciplined framework too, right?
Yeah.
Through Singtel and Capital and Investment, or CLI.
Yes, so they are actively managing these physical data centers as real estate assets now. They are packaging the chaos into disciplined financial products.
Which is brilliant.
Good.
Okay, so now that you, the listener, have a clear picture of these three distinct markets, let's bring the pieces together and look at the week ahead. The Beast Outlook.
Let's do it.
The source text poses a final, really direct question. It asks, which beast will outperform next week?
Just to quickly recap the lanes for everyone, America leads AI, which is growth. Malaysia builds the infrastructure, which is expansion. And Singapore delivers the capital, which is stability.
So what does this all mean for you? If you look at your own learning goals, or your investments, or your 401k, are you naturally betting on the Eagle, the Tiger, or the Lion?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you'll see the hidden genius of the source material. Answering that question is almost a trap.
Wait, really? Why?
Because it's not actually a zero-sum competition between the beasts. It's a perfectly balanced, interconnected economic food chain.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. If the U.S. tech sector stops innovating and designing chips, the heavy construction companies in Malaysia have no reason to build the data centers.
And then the Singapore banks have no massive infrastructure projects to finance.
Exactly. And it goes the other way, too. If the Malaysian power grid can't supply the energy, the American AI software has no hardware to run on.
The whole growth bubble just bursts.
Instantly. And if Singapore fails to provide stable capital, the builders in Malaysia can't secure the loans to buy the raw materials.
Wow. So none of them can perform at all without the others.
Precisely. They are completely dependent on one another.
That is such a good takeaway. Okay, let's do a quick, punchy recap to lock this in. The AI revolution isn't just one American tech story. It's a three-part machine. It requires visionary growth, massive physical energy, and disciplined financial stability.
Which means your perspective as a listener should completely shift from now on.
Totally. Whenever you hear news about a new AI model, you should now automatically think about the concrete being poured in Malaysia and the capital flowing through Singapore to actually support it.
You can't look at the eagle without seeing the tiger and the lion.
Right. Well, before we go, I know you had a final thought you wanted to leave everyone with. Something to mull over.
Yeah, I do. So we have this perfectly balanced ecosystem right now. If AI is the brain and energy is the muscle and capital is the lifeblood, as this jungle evolves, what will become the next critical resource it demands?
Oh, that's a great question.
Right. Like, what might the fourth beast look like? Will it be the regions controlling the freshwater supply for cooling? Or the nations mining the rare earth metals for the semiconductors?
That is fascinating to think about. The jungle is always expanding.
Exactly. So keep an eye out for who steps up to fill that next vital role.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Stay curious, stay hungry, and keep exploring that financial jungle. We'll catch you next time.